A Quantum Odyssey, final version. On a Monday at dawn, one of those that crushes you just thinking about everything you have to do. You know how Mondays are, right? You wake up with that feeling that the weekend was too short and the upcoming week is endless. The city sleeps, but Alexander's lab is more awake than ever. The poor guy has been working on his project for years, sacrificing weekends, vacations, even Christmas dinners. All a lazy dream of taming time. Outside, the rain won't stop. The drops fall, want to wash away the madness that's about to unfold inside. Alexander, a physicist with more ideas than hours of sleep, stands before his creation. The guy can't take it anymore. He runs a hand through his messy hair, eyes wide like saucers. His head is full of that anxiety that eats you alive when you know you're about to do something big or terribly stupid. The experiment that changed everything. It's now or never, Alexander murmurs, his trembling fingers inching toward the switch on his machine. His eyes glisten with a mix of fear and excitement. The name of his creation? The Molecular Coherence Chronotuner, MCCT 1.255 for short. Imagine this. Alexander believed he could hack time. Yeah, that's right. But it's not as crazy as it sounds. Well, maybe it is, but it makes sense in a way. You see, it all started with a wild idea based on quantum physics and string theory. Alexander paces around the lab, gesturing like he's giving a lecture to an invisible audience. What if time isn't what we think? What if we could see everything, all at once? His theory went like this. If he could manipulate quantum coherence on a large scale, basically make the weird stuff that happens with tiny particles happen with big things like, I don't know, a brain, he could change how we perceive time. He stops in front of a whiteboard full of equations and drawings that look like a 5-year-old's doodles on acid. He points to a particularly complicated equation. This is the key, the Wheeler-DeWitt equation. It suggests that time isn't a fundamental dimension of the universe, but something that emerges from something deeper. Alexander turns to his machine, a tangle of wires, blinking lights, and metal parts. See this? These are superconducting qubits, like the bits in a normal computer, but quantum. I keep them in superposition with very precise electromagnetic fields. He pauses dramatically, as if waiting for applause that never comes. The idea is to entangle these qubits with the particles in my brain, and bam, my consciousness will unhook from the arrow of conventional time. Sounds crazy, right? But hey, haven't the greatest discoveries all started with crazy ideas? And off he goes. With a determined gesture, he activates the experiment, and boom, a blue flash floods the room. Quantum chaos unleashed. Suddenly, time stops being what you and I know. Alexander stumbles, clutching his head with both hands. His eyes dart around wildly as if he's watching 1,000 movies at once. I did it, he screams in his mind, raising his arms in triumph. Finally, the guy has cracked the mystery. But that fascination, oh, that fascination quickly turns to terror. His smile fades, replaced by a grimace of panic. The genius's nightmare. The blue flash that flooded the lab marked the beginning of a cognitive nightmare for Alexander. His mind, now unshackled from temporal sequence, was bombarded by a cascade of quantum information. Sensory overload. Every moment became a superposition of all possible states of the universe. Alexander simultaneously experienced every quantum variation of every moment. Mental wave function. Collapse. When trying to observe a specific thought or memory, Alexander would involuntarily collapse his mind's wave function, randomly selecting one of the infinite possible states. This resulted in constant fluctuations in his thoughts and memories. Each second, each cursed second, his brain received more information than it could process. Alexander writhed, his hands opening and closing spasmodically, as if trying to grasp fragments of reality. It's too much, he gasped, falling to his knees. His mind was now a living quantum computer, operating on the Planck scale, the smallest unit of physically significant time, 10 circumflex, 43 seconds. And if that wasn't enough, every Monday of his life hit him at once. Yes, yes, you heard that right. Every Monday he lived, every Monday he has left, all together, all stacked one on top of the other, like a pile of bills to pay at the start of the month. Monday anxiety multiplied by infinity. The anxiety shreds him. Alexander doesn't know how to escape that nightmare. Alexander leaps to his feet, his eyes wild. Eureka! He exclaims, seeing for an instant a solution to the unified theory. His hands frantically sketch equations in the air, but the next second, poof, he collapses into his chair, exhausted. It slipped away, like trying to catch a neutrino with a sieve. A madman's world, desperate. He puts on his headphones, his fingers trembling as he adjusts the volume. Music, which always saved him, his refuge. But not this time. Oh no, this time music becomes a torment. He rips the headphones from his ears with a choked scream. Enough, 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 he groans, covering his ears. Every note, every chord. It's like he's hearing all the symphonies of the universe at once, from the Big Bang to the